What is the biggest, ugliest truth about modern dating that people know do not want to admit?
The biggest ugly truth, I would say, in modern dating, they want to be chosen, but they're not ready to choose.
So I think that modern dating is conditional, right? It's not unconditional. And so I think that some people go into it thinking like, okay, this is going to be a situation that leads to unconditional love, or, that type of situation, but it's definitely conditions. And then also, I feel that the majority of people cheat. So when you're dating, you're gonna somehow come in contact with someone who is dishonest and disloyal and cheating. And that's just, what I've come to kind of realize with modern dating.
Mhm.
Joe, if you don't mind, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you cheat? You don't
Do
gotta
I
answer if you
cheat?
don't want to. If it's personal, you don't gotta answer.
You're asking if I cheat?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. When you say most people cheat, what you mean, like 50, 51%, or you mean like 70, 60? What you mean? What you think?
I'm gonna say 95%.
Golly. you in the
So
five.
I'm gonna say 90. So look, think of this space here, right? 95% of these people in this space right now are cheaters.
Oh
In,
man.
in my thought process when it comes to modern dating.
Okay. And that's not a projection to you. You don't think that's a projection at all.
No.
Okay. This is my other question. My other question is do you why do you think that dating or relationships are supposed to be unconditional?
I think that people, or just in my experience and interacting with individuals, I think that people look for unconditional terms when it comes to relationships. I don't necessarily think that, but as a whole, when it comes to dating, I think that people look for unconditional terms.
Okay. I think those people probably are maybe delusional, because I think it's ridiculous to want an unconditional relationship. I understand unconditional love, even though I get that, but an unconditional relationship, it's like I'm with you, but I want something, right? Something. I don't want to just be taken advantage of. There's something that I also want in return, you know. So yeah, that's all I
So,
have.
question right back at you, in regards to like cheating. What do you think the percentage of cheaters are in modern dating?
Um, what do I think the percentage of cheaters are? I'm really not at liberty to comment, but I will guess, right? I think as far as men are concerned, I would say maybe 30%. As far as women are concerned, I would say close to 30. Yeah, that's what I would say.
You would
What was
say
your
what?
number?
What you say?
What you would say what as far as women are concerned? I didn't hear that.
I would say close to 30, maybe 25.
So
Okay.
30 men and 30 women. 30% men.
30%, yeah, and just 25% women.
You so full of shit, and I love it.
Like,
Just
Thirty
listening to
percent.
him say that was like flawless for me. It was hilarious.
What's wrong with that? What you think?
I loved it. It was just like 30% of men cheat. I believe it 100%.
You think
It,
that's too low?
you know that's low.
anyways,
What?
I have a completely different take, actually. I feel like social media killed modern dating. So that's how I feel. But yeah,
Options. Social media options. I agree.
the illusion of options.
I think women are starting to understand that they're not as attractive as they thought they were.
Ooh.
And the truth is that most people, like the experience we live right now, is not a normal experience. Technology has fooled a lot of people to think that how life is how it's always been, and humans have been around for thousands of years. Most of the time, you hooked up or linked up with people you knew, your family knew, your friends knew. Now everybody a celebrity. You got a smartphone, you got Wi-Fi, you global. And I think that most women are starting to really understand that, you ain't really as hot as you thought you were. Like, your girlfriends lied to you. The dude at 7-Eleven that gives you a free Slurpee lied to you. That's just not how it really goes down. Because what really matters is if you can, garner a relationship that actually transition to something serious. So they getting banged out, bent over, tossed around, spread around, and right back to the streets they go.
All right. So as far as the cheating goes, a general social survey says that it's like 20% men, 13% women. And a lot of people say, how can you detect that or whatever? Okay, great. This is what they have. It's a tier 1 source. And unless you have better data, then, we can't really refute that. So I don't think it's as bad as people make it seem. I think that maybe your social groups are bad if you think like that, or maybe you consume too much internet, because certain spaces it will look like that. But when you start to go into other cultures, and it's really not like that. People don't cheat really as much. The dating groups right now are pretty bad, but a lot of times people get married and they don't cheat like at all. There's a large group of people who just don't get involved with that. The whole cheating thing is, it's not. Some people are bound by God, and whether it be religion, whether it be just your principles. Some people just don't cheat and they have no desire to. There's some happy couples out there. But to answer the question, if we are going to say why these relationships, or what the number one reason is, I would say that unrealistic expectations, and people are liars, right? We've had women constantly move the goalpost as to what is expected of men, and then say, hey, you're not doing it. The major things that we wanted from women, it hasn't really changed. So women have moved the goalpost and then blame men for not being able to acquiesce to the unrealistic standards. And secondly, liars. So women will say what it is that they want, and when you do that, you are met with rejection, whereas you do F-boy activities and you are sought after. So until women kind of realize what it is that they want, we're going to have plenty more issues with relationships. They're going to have to actually respond to what it is they say they want, because men are trying to acquiesce as much as possible, but the things they say they want, they don't actually want.
I think it's that with all this dating that people are doing, that it's not going to lead to marriage. And I think that a lot of people are seeing that they just haven't been taught how to properly establish, maintain, and sustain the relationships that would be conducive to marriage that they say that they want. So a lot of this is just jargon talk. Like, we want this, we want that, we expect this, we expect that. But even if it was to present itself, you still wouldn't be able to be capacitated or be at that level, I say, to maintain and sustain it. So again, I think I'm saying what everybody else is saying. It's just a collection of unrealistic expectations, and people are pretending to be something that they're not. And again, I just think a lot of us are not realistic, and we're not truthful about who we are and what we want, and we keep like looking for it in other people or thinking that we can hide behind it. The truth of the matter is, relationships are very important, the basis of our interaction, but with so much that we have been that is not correct, that is not proper. Then we have social media. Other people were saying they just fake it until they man, you actually get into a relationship and you're with just that person and it's very intimate. It goes wrong because that's when the layers have to be peeled back, and you really have to show more than what you were just like your actual self. And a lot of people can't face themselves, let alone somebody else. So I don't want to feel like I'm over talking, but again, I just think people are not going to get what they want because they don't deserve it and they haven't worked on it. I land.
So I think most people like the feeling of love more than the responsibility of it. I feel like people like the FaceTimes, the calls, the butterflies, the flirting, all of that, but they don't like the accountability piece. They don't like the, you know what I mean? They don't like the, like having to emotional responsibility. I just think that people like the idea of it, but not the work that comes with it. It's all fun and dandy, and I think a lot of times too, people show their representative at the beginning. The representative, you always see the representative all the time, and then as time progresses, you're like, oh man. So you don't like going on dates. You don't like this, or you don't like. So I don't think it's a man or woman thing per se. I think it's us just as a whole. And then I think also, people lost the idea, like kind of like what Toya said, social media. To people don't know what getting to know, to move from getting to know someone to the dating phase, to the exclusively dating phase, to the marriage. I don't think no one has no idea what that entails anymore. And so everybody is going all kinds of ways, and we ain't meeting up right now.
Okay. I'm seeing Trey with the Birdman hands gesture going on. I see Willie. I'll link his head back. Go ahead, Willie.